What's good with y'all, man? It's your boy Will back with another video, and today we're gonna be getting into another interesting video topic. Now, welcome back to my channel. I wanted to present another question for you guys and another topic I wanted to debate with you guys. So, I dropped a video. Well, I just made a video 10 seconds ago about who's the biggest threat. But this is a separate video I wanted to make on who do we want to play in the first round and why. So what's really interesting about this first round matchup, because the Browns are the 5th seed, they're going to play the 4th seed, which is going to be the AFC South Division, which we played this year. So this is going to be a team that we've played already before. We played 2 of them on the road. We got 1 at home. That was Jacksonville. Out of all the 3 teams, we had 2 at home, 2 on the road. We went 4-0. Yeah, we went 4-0 against the AFC South. So, I'm trying to see, who would you guys think will be the easiest and hardest matchup to play in the first round and why? Me personally, obviously the freaking Titans is not included in this. But me personally, I think the worst environment to play in and the toughest game, like environmental-wise and crowd effect and noise and all of that, it'll probably be the Colts. I think the Colts probably had the loudest arena. The Colts was loud as hell when we played them. And we had Deshaun throw that pick because he wasn't healthy. And we had PJ Walker just fumbling the ball. Like, that game was terrible. But I do think that'd be the easiest team to play. I think the Colts is the worst team out this bunch. I don't want to see C.J. Stroud. I don't want to see Trevor Lawrence. If you give me the option, I'll take Gardner Minshew over Ford. I'll take those guys. That Colts game was a game that you shouldn't have won, but you won because you were clearly the better team. You had a game where you made a quarterback change, and you came and snuck and won the game by putting up, 39 points on the Colts. With PJ Walker and Myles Garrett scoring half of them, stuff like that, winning games like that in those type of ways. It might have been the hardest method of victory because we blew out the Texans and we pretty much blew out the Titans. The Jaguars was losing that entire game. I don't really consider that a close game. But outside of that was our hardest game. But we pretty much dominated the entire AFC South. But I would rather play the Gardner Minshew and the Colts. Just for the simple fact they present a less much of a matchup nightmare for our defense. Having, like I said, Gardner Minshew out there versus playing like a C.J. Stroud, who you haven't played yet, or Trevor Lawrence. Another thing, let's get to the Jags. I'm going to go on a limb and say the Jags is actually the second best team in this AFC South at this current moment. The reason why is because you got Trevor Lawrence having these weird injury issues. You got some stuff going on with Travis Etienne. They just lost Christian Kirk. He's trying to come back. I seen they opened up the the IR return for Christian Kirk. I think that's what it's called, IR return, or I can't think of it, but I know y'all know what I'm talking about. He's eligible to return now. But they got a lot of injuries, man. They dealing with a lot of different stuff. They can't stop water in the air. They give up 300 yards passing every game to everybody, despite them being the front runner for the division this entire time. They have struggled mightily in their secondary, and they have struggled with injuries. Now, of course, we're not going to talk about injuries because we're the Cleveland Browns, but I would rather play Jacksonville right now than I would go to Houston and play C.J. Stroud coming off that concussion. And they really only missing Tank Dell. And the reason is for that is because I do believe that the Texans present a much bigger nightmare than the Jacksonville Jaguars, because we kind of seen that matchup with the Jaguars. Everybody was there. Everybody was set. We kind of seen how that played out. It wasn't really a game that the Browns were really sweating. They got a lot of their points in garbage times. Now, of course, we did blow the Texans out pretty good. We did a number on that Texans defense. So obviously that is there, but just like in a shootout performance, I think C.J. Stroud has a better chance. It sounds kind of crazy coming on my mouth, but I think C.J. Stroud has a better ability to keep up in a shootout than the Jacksonville Jaguars trying to keep up in a shootout. But it's splitting hairs at that point. I think it's going to be a tough game regardless. But if your defense go out there and they go out there and they play good, they play well, we should be moving to that second round in the playoffs. And that needs to be the goal, to go out here and win a playoff game. We won a playoff game last time we was in playoffs. So we got to meet that standard. Hopefully we could win 2 playoffs games, and then we'll really get to cooking with grass. But not grass, cooking with grease. But yeah, I do think I would rather play the Colts than I would rather play the Jags, and then I'll probably pick the Texans last on that list. Now, if the Texans had Tank Dell, it would definitely be a clear-cut favorite. But I want you guys' opinion on this. Would you? I mean, it really comes down to, unless you think the Jags, not the Jags, you think the Colts are, like, I guess, a good team. Not a good team, but you think the Colts are a threat. Would you rather play the Texans or would you play the Jaguars? I'm gonna go with the Jaguars. I ain't gonna lie. I already take the Jaguars. Now, I might sound crazy for saying this. I think the Jaguars actually did beat them in their head-to-head. I don't know if they swept them. Somebody gonna get mad at me because I don't know that fact about that. But not here nor there. I think they split, or they got. I know Jacksonville won at least a game against the Texans. So they might be a better team. But when the way they played the Browns, I was at both of those games. I seen both of those games up close and personal. And I think C.J. Stroud, if you plug him in that game and take out Case Keenum and Davis Mills, I think they present a much tougher, not a much tougher, but a closer game than what the Jacksonville Jaguars did when they came and they kind of played Joe Flacco in his second game. I kind of feel like they present a much a harder battle in that scenario. But you guys let me know how y'all feel about it, man. Maybe some people might think Gardner Minshew and Jonathan Taylor, Zach Moss, and those guys out there running the football, and you got Pittman Jr. and, Alex Pierce. Not Alex, but Alex Pierce. Some people might think those guys might present a harder problem than like a C.J. Stroud and a Trevor Lawrence. But at the end of the day, we got to, be real with ourselves. We got Joe Flacco out there, so we don't know what we're going to get on him on a week-to-week basis. So I'd rather, in my opinion, I would go Colts, then Texans. Well, Colts, then Jags, then Texans last. So y'all let me know how y'all feel about that, man. A little bit of a controversial video because some people might think I'm crazy for saying I'm scared of C.J. Stroud more than Trevor Lawrence right now. A lot to do with his injuries, but not the here nor there. It's your boy Will. Appreciate y'all checking in. I'm out. Peace.